What is up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in once again. You know, today's Monday, so with that being said, let's get into making beats. Let's get into talking about the album. The album is now out. It's called Metamorphic. For those who don't know, I am a producer, engineer, artist as well. Main key thing I want you guys to know is that I'm an artist first and foremost, and that I'm always going to be working on that side as a primary. Then everything else is kind of secondary. And when I say that, I mean the producing and the engineering and everything aside from that is kind of secondary. Editing videos. The first thing I want to really focus on is the music and the quality of music. So, I definitely took off these last 2 weeks from streaming only because I was working on the album, making sure it was mixed and mastered, making sure that we had the cover art. Just everything was set in place for it to be a success. So the rollout has been cool so far. Definitely just working on some visuals now and making sure that we have videos for like big blizzies. Definitely look out for a video of that. Definitely look out for a video for Why Are We Waiting, Reminder, maybe Topic, Splish Splash. So I definitely got about five ideas laid out for different songs, and I really just want to make sure that you guys are enjoying the music and that is being shared and that you guys or ladies just love what I do. I know majority of the people who do listen to me are guys, so shout out to y'all for doing your thing and making sure that that I keep this shit on point, that everything that I'm saying is matches my pen and matches my character. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about in my upcoming albums is going to be even more personal to me. I know that a lot of this album, like I was telling a lot of people, is gonna be more geared towards really just towards like setting the expectation for my next upcoming albums. And I think that to me that's important because I want to set a standard. Once I set that standard, I could only like get better and better and better. So every time I set a standard for myself, it's just basically allowing me to set that goal and then strive to be better than the person I was yesterday. So a lot of what I do is geared towards being better than I was yesterday, hence the reason it just like everything that I do really just progress and progress. Hey, shout out to Follow That Girl with the Curls, Thalia with the curls, to we making stuff happen. A lot of the she's gonna be definitely behind a lot of those videos as well. So she's been supporting me, and when I say she, that's my girl. So definitely put her into as much as I can, whatever ideas I can really just pour onto her, making sure that I do that as well. But yeah, man, let's get to the music. I got my Kai Mini out. I got the mic out. I got the green screen out. I got myself set up in this seat. So yeah, follow that girl with the curls, man. Make sure you definitely stay in tune for what she's doing. And if you're a girl, I know a lot more girls would be geared towards what she does. So definitely pay attention to her if you are a shorty and you want to know what to do with your hair and you're a curly girl. Definitely go follow her. Show as much support to your people as well. Make sure that if you want to build, you got to build other people up around you. You can't just expect to just build yourself up and not build the people up around you. It's kind of selfish, and it's not about what you can get out of this world. It's about what you could give. And me doing this is me giving to you guys and hoping that I'm pouring into you guys, and that when I'm gone, this is something that could resonate with you, and it's something that could that you could use to your benefit to get better and better at everything that you do. So I want to make sure that we strive for success and that we push ourselves to believe even further, even though you might not necessarily believe it. If you got a shorty, send her over. Yeah, definitely go follow her. Definitely go send her over there if she got a shorty. If you got a shorty, to all my dudes out there. But anywho, I just want to make sure that you guys, show love to everyone who surround you, because it's important. If you have no supporters, just keep working for your future supporters. And to my other fellow artists, like, man, I wish this is one thing I could tell you is just really just focus on yourself and try to get to know more of yourself, and don't try to skip out on the process. Really just focus on the now and what you can learn right now. Don't focus too much on the future because it will give you anxiety. I usually get a bunch of anxiety from fucking just think about the future and everything that I want to do. So it's important that you have like people who are around you to tell you like, hey bro, like you need to improve on this, or there's certain things that you could add. Like it's good to have people like that, who can, provide feedback and give you an honest perception of what they see from you and that type of stuff that you're putting in. So enough of that talk, man. Let's just get to this beat. I really want to continue looking at the loops that Apple has, only because I feel like for anybody starting off, if you don't know how to make beats, this would be your way to get your foot in the door, basically. Like try loops out, put things together, and call it your own beat. Getting confident with calling stuff yours. And just because I didn't necessarily make this loop doesn't mean, at the end of the day, when I'm done with this and everything that I put together, all my ideas, it's not mine. It is mine. It's completely 100% mine. It's just other people's ideas or other people's notes, melodies used. Similar with sampling. So it's kind of the same thing. But if someone were to legally chase you for this, they could. They could go to like, hey, like I did the Apple loop for this, so you gotta pay me a percentage. You could, but at the end of the day, bro, like hip hop and a large majority of music is all being sampled nowadays, and you get away with some, and others you won't get away with as much because they got like pretty good legal teams. But it's about just trying things out and not letting that limit you from what you could actually do. So I'ma just like check off the ones that I did like. Yeah, I like this one. We used that already. We used that too. Yeah, that's that fire, really. I'm already feeling that. Lower down. Control your sounds. A lot of people who just start off really don't know how to put things together in terms of loudness and where they belong. For me, like I like to tell a lot of people that melodies should be spread out a little bit more. Control your melodies. It should be lower than the drums, only because it's just how it's appealing. If you listen to other songs, it's really that's how it's melodies are not as present as you think they should be. So definitely kind of lower your melodies, spread them out, always have them spread out. Not always, but majority of the time you do want to spread out your melodies, only because you don't want to be coming right from the center of a stereo field. That's more for like the drums, the snares, the 808, all right, and the kick. Specifically, the mono stuff that you want to leave is snares, snares, kicks, and 808. You could pan your hi-hats, you could pan your melodies, you could pan your effects, your ambiance, and all that stuff. So, but definitely watch out for phasing. And for those who don't know what phasing is when you introduce noise. So a lot when you pan, you introduce this noise, this phasing. It's like it's kind of like this grit a little bit into the sound that could fuck shit up and distort when it gets played on different speakers. So definitely watch out for phasing. If you don't know about phasing, make sure you write that down in your notes. Look it up. Look up what phasing does. I'm not gonna get too much deep into it, but just understand that it is important when you put stuff into the stereo field. Cool. I didn't put much in stereo field, but I want to do here so we just don't blow out people's ears is we're gonna put a limiter and make sure that we're not clipping. Right, and this is a stereo master, so we'll put in the stereo. Just increase by like, let's say 1.2, whatever. But the key to this is having a, I don't know, let's just shoot for like a -3 dB. This just makes sure that we're not peaking above -3 right here on our master. So if you play this now, it will sound a little louder, but it's gonna sound together too, because that's kind of what a limiter does. It compresses and glues things together. So let's get some drums in here. Drum sampler optimize. Oh, D1, C. Or it could be 1, 2. Yeah, so let me redo that. I feel like it might be quicker. Like on a 2. So what if I put them in? If you notice, this melody right here is already panning more to my right. Unless this is more of a bass tone, so this should be. But you still see it's like coming more from the right too. This is coming more from the left, so it feels like it's filling it in. Yeah. I'm gonna look for a kick. So for my kicks, I got them in my all media downloads. Kicks. This is one kick I like. It's like a thump. Oh, fuck it, let me try these trenches ones. Put this into mono. Remember what I was talking about before? Let's apply it there. Let's change the attack, delay, sustain and release. Let's just put attack and release. That's all we want to control here. So bring that back. Yeah. I'm gonna add a compressor to this only because I felt like it's not hitting how I wanted it to hit. So what do I say? What do I mean by that? You'll see when I compress it. Let's turn the auto gain off. Add a little bit of distortion. Threshold. Let's leave it at about -3, -2. We're gonna do the ratio at 2.1. Just listen for it like the punch. And these different compressors up top, basically, they're modeled after these specific like VCA, the FET, and the VCA, like different VCAs, classic VCA, studio VCA, vintage VCA, vintage FET. So it's just about the type of sound you want from these compressors. Really, they're gonna offer you different sounds. If I could click through them, you'll hear what I mean. And it gives it more of a thump. Take this out the way so I can actually see what I'm trying to do here. So, hey. Maybe this don't belong here. Let's go boom, 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 boom. It could be like, instead of here, something like that, right? Not too bad. Now let's title this first and foremost. Now let's multiply it, aka duplicate, copy it down here. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna look for 808. So I have them in my downloads under 808 folder. So if I Command A to highlight all of them, and then I press Shift / right, which is like the sound like that, you should be able to extend the note all the way to the very next note. So it's gonna sound like this to basically complete the 808s. Off again. Let's have like a little glide. To add glides, right, within here, what you want to do is you want to go to, see, this is already set up, so that's perfectly fine. Now to add a glide is under here. You see under pitch, just glide it to like 10 milliseconds. You don't want to do too much, but just enough so it'll sound something like this. Could even climb up to it, so it could be like, Maybe if I go up, down, see what that feels like. Nah. Had to carve off too much. There was too much going on that high end. I felt like adding maybe like we can add a compressor to this as well. What this is gonna do is, like I said, make it tight knit, so it's gonna hit a little harder. So let's look at, turn this off. Let's just set this up to bring it to the ratio we want. That's about where it needs to be. And now let's bring the makeup up. Add that gain back in there. Yeah, some of these compressors will have different thresholds. As you can see here, it's like only taking, it's at -31, and it's taking about -3, -4, -2. So this is fine. Let's move on. Let's take this out.
No?
What? What are you doing? No, bro. Do not fuck my shit up, bro. Just cross regular. Damn. Okay. My fault, y'all. Hold up. Alright, fuck it. We good. Alright, let's go. right, so one thing I do want to tell you guys, you see this little kick right here? It's also kicking right around the same time that this is hitting. You see this little kick? This is a kick. So why am I saying that? I want to point out the fact that a lot of 808s and kicks will clash. So if you've seen what I just did when I said multiply, duplicate, I'm basically just duplicated the kick as an 808. So it's hitting right. But let's say I go to my 808 and I decide to put a double like I just tried to do right now. On a one hit kick, it's going to sound weird. So, or glides. Glides will sound weird if you try to hit at the same time that you got your kick going. So it's best to try your glides before the kick hits. So it's kind of like woo, coming back down to it. Stuff like that that I learned throughout the years that maybe if you guys are real listening, you'll pick up what I'm saying. If not, it's going to seem a little complicated as to what I'm saying. But all I'm basically trying to tell you is your 808s and kicks will be hitting around the same time. And it's important that you don't do too much when the kick is hitting because it's going to sound muddy. But when I say muddy, if you don't know what muddy means, that basically just means like it's clashing. Your sounds are clashing at a lower frequency. So those sub bass frequencies, they're clashing. And that muddies the track. Basically creating this like, it just doesn't hit it. It doesn't punch as well. It's basically the best way I can explain it to you. It doesn't punch as well. So just make sure that your glides are separate from when your kicks are hitting. That's why I'm adding glides towards here. You don't see there's no kick around here. I'm adding a glide there. I'm adding a glide here, right? There was another one right before the start of bar 3. I'm adding a glide there. There's no glide. There's no kick punching in right here. See how I left the spaces? I'm leaving spaces to do things on different pieces. And just try things out. Try what works for you. This may not work for you. Sometimes people don't like to duplicate their kick into the 808 because it creates this monotone sound and they want to just vibe out to it. So it's all based on preference. It's good to know the differences so you could learn what you like. Me personally, this is just what I know how to do so far. There's more than I'm going to learn. So just wanted to share that with you guys. But let's play what we got so far. For some reason, to me, like I'm listening back to it now, and I feel like there could be a different drum pattern, obviously, but I just feel like maybe it needs something else. Like this melody sounds too retro and techno for it to have like this trap kind of sound. It is a clash between the two, categories and genres. So I may be creating something new here, but at the end of the day, nothing's new. So I like how it's sounding, but just know in the back of my mind, I'm always looking for ways to improve it. So just want to be transparent. Cool, let's lay down some hi-hats. For these hi-hats, you want to keep within a stereo field. So let's change it back to, yeah, it's already in the stereo. So keep it in the stereo. Remind you, like I said in the beginning, hi-hats should be stereo filled. You should add, I'll show you how to add some stereo fill to it and some width. Right now, let's go ahead and create the MIDI region. Just right click, create MIDI region. You go into it. And if you pull out your brush tool, as long as you got the 10.5 logic, All right. I'm on. I think I'm on. Yeah, I'm on 10.5.1. So as long as you're in 10.5 or above, I don't know, 4. Probably had it in 4, but you should have this tool. It's called the brush tool. And what the brush tool is going to allow you to do is create hi-hats really quickly. So if I just hold down, but first and foremost, let me get the hi-hat in here. Go to downloads, hi-hats. Let's bring this back up. Let's drag. Let's see what kind of hi-hats. This might match. C. So it's on C. If you didn't notice that, it's on C3. You keep all this at poly, that's fine. And now, like I said, if you just drag the brush tool, if you don't want 16 bar notes, right? What you could do is you could change this here. You could go to 8th notes, 8 bar notes, and you'll fill it in as an 8th bar. So that's cool. Let's see what this is. You quickly try things out too. So that's not working. Maybe let's try the one. You know, basically 1/4 a bar, one note. Get rid of this. And let's add a 16 note here. For some reason, I don't like these hi-hats. I really don't. I don't know. They're just not. I don't know if they belong to this beat, really. I don't know if hi-hats belong to this necessarily. So maybe like quick, just like quick, like. Try the 1/16. Sounds like too much. Honestly, it speeds it up, and I like that. Okay, pause. Let me add something to this. This is why it's very important to choose your hi-hat rhythm, because it's gonna add a cadence, is gonna add a tempo, is gonna add this feel to the beat. Is gonna either make it faster, or is gonna either slow it down, depending on the hi-hats. So it's very important that you get that sound right. And right now I'm just making sure that it feels good. And this feels better to me. This fast pace for this specific beat will sound better to me in my ears. This is what my ears are more like, yes, this sounds good, blood. Let's keep going. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Alright, so I'm still hearing a quick let's close this up so I can have more space to work with here. So it's right there. Right there is one of them. And we could easily just punch those in by changing the note pattern and see how that sounds. Maybe half from the halfway point. So like not entirely the whole bar, but just like here. Another one right there. Maybe for this part I can add like a 64 note. Same thing here. I'm gonna add 3, 4. So that doesn't belong there. What that does, this doesn't belong here. If you just hold Option and drag it to the right, you could just copy a note really quickly. Alright, so for here, I think it was this again, and I want to add a 32. So let's go back to switch into 32. Add 1, 2. Another right there. It just called for it. It may or may not be there, but let's see if it goes. But honestly, it's more of a 64 note. This is 32. Let's see how it goes. I'll be ready anyway. Alright, cool. So that sounds good to me. What we could do here is I always do this in my streams, and I want to emphasize it because it's actually pretty important. You want to randomize velocity. This will basically make it feel more realistic. I'd probably bring it up all the way to like maybe 90. I'll just do 100 and select and operate. And now this is what it will sound like. It should sound more natural to your ears. Comment below if you think it doesn't. If it does, subscribe, motherfucker. Anywho, let's go to what else we doing? I think We could add some percussions. We could add a bunch of other different sounds, but let's add some quick percussions. Let's do this. Let's do percussion. Alright, so we're going to percussions. Perk. Hey, y'all, I don't do no pills, so don't be asking me about no perks. The only perks I know is percussions. If I can find them. Here they are. Let's hear them. Hey, that's a perfect perk. Perfect. It's gonna go something like this. Let's make sure we create that MIDI track. I'm hype, y'all. I'm hype. Sounding pretty good. All right, so let's take this out the way so we have more real estate, and it should go. What about? Oh, it's still on that. So let's change it back to 1/8. It's definitely not 1/8. It should be 1/16. So it'd be like, or it could be like. Sound like this, like. So it should do the again. Go. Yep, right. Another one right here, or it should go here, or let's see. Yeah, not here because that's a snare, so it goes. Another one right here. Ooh. Bah, bah. Space them out right there. Go. Bah. And then. Bah. Nope. It should not be a tss, tss. I don't like that. It should probably go. Perfect. So I like that. It's simple. You can't guess what it's going. That right there is a mix of 1, 2. It's like, it's basically, you see how I'm just doing 2 and then I copied the 2 and then I just added 1 and then now I'm only leaving 1 for the next one and then only leaving 1 for the next one. It just basically makes sure that it's different. It sounds appealing to your ears. And now when I play it back, it's like you can't really expect when the percussion is gonna hit. So it's like. Woo! So for percussions, you want to lower them down, probably pan to the left. Yeah. And now, remember how I told you we could do something for these hi-hats to add a stereo delay, right? Because we were talking about stereo, field, and everything. Bang, let's open a stereo delay. I lied, this is not it. It's sample delay, stereo, bang, bang, bang. This is it. So, what is this here? It's a sample delay, youngin. Okay, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna either probably go left or we could go right, like about 100 milliseconds. All right. So, but that's probably OD. Probably just like 92 is fine enough. You don't want to do too much. Remember that phasing that I was talking about? This can add phasing. So please be careful. Bling. Shiny. Ice clean. Let's go. If you hear it a little bit, it's more spread out. The slightest to your left. This is my left. This is my right. It's on my left. I believe it's working. I mean, I cannot really hear the difference, and you guys might not be able to hear the difference, but it makes a difference. Okay, and that's something that I learned from engineering. It's the little things that add up. All right, it's not trying to do everything all at once because you can't. And it's gonna sound hella whack if you do. So all you gotta do is just add just a little bit to anything. When I add compressor, I just add just enough. I'm adding 2.1. The threshold is not crazy. I'm just adding a little bit of gain. It's just about the little things you do. You don't want to take off a whole frequency on the EQ. You take off the little bit of frequency that you can't hear, or that it was getting in your way. That's how an engineer works and thinks. You try to add just enough, not too much, because when you start adding too much, you can fuck up the sound, and you don't want to do that necessarily. So just make sure you add just enough. Don't add too much. Even if you don't know what you're doing, just add a little bit of it. Try to not add too much, because that's where you'll fuck up. That's where you'll mess up, and you'll just keep continuing to make those mistakes if no one tells you. So it's best that, I'll let you know just a little bit of compression, a little bit of EQ, a little bit of limiting, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you'll get the results you want. You just got to understand the process for it, and once you know the process, you could kind of just really make it whatever you want from then. So cool. Alright, so down to arrangement. I know you guys struggle with arrangements because there's people who do ask me about it. So how would you structure this song? How'd you go about this? How would you go about that? Let's solve it right here. Well, technically, since this is 100, right? This is not in double time. So having basically a 4-bar loop is perfectly fine, because it's gonna seem like an 8-bar loop, really. Well, not really, but it would sound like a 2-bar loop for those, because it's in double time. If you multiply after 120, everything after 120 in the BPM is multiplied. So think about it like that. I know it's hella confusing, because even to me it was confusing. So look it up if you need to. But for me, it's just about understanding the arrangement of what your BPM allows you to arrange. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to drag out certain sounds too much and leave them, like, you kind of have to fill it out. So let's just fill it out and see how it goes. Cool. So I think that's pretty much in terms of the arrangement as to what I wanted to do. Obviously, and I say this all the time, you could always add more sounds. This is kind of a rough draft as to what we kind of started with, and to get you guys an idea as to how you can build. And honestly, with just this right here, with just a percussion, hi-hat, kick, 808, snare, and 2 different melodies, technically I can make a song off that. And there's a bunch of music already out there with the similar amount of drums and amount of melodies, and it still hits. So try to not add too much, once again, to that overlaying idea of not adding too much into your beats, too much into your engineering, too much into maybe even your writing. So it's all about finding that balance between it all. Nothing is going to be set in stone, and what works for me might not work for you. So with that, we're having that in mind. Just about trying things out, learning from your mistakes, and helping others learn from their mistakes, because it's not about what you get all the time, it's about what you give. So keep giving to the world, man. If it's in music, whatever you love doing, just keep pouring into it. I'm out of here. I'm gonna let you guys listen to this beat one more time. This is officially what I think. I skipped out on a few beats that I didn't record, so this is beat 312, I believe. If I'm not, I think I have, 312, because I did 311 another day. All right, so save that. Let's listen to this one more time before I bounce it. Let me just bounce it really quickly, and then we can listen to it. Cool. All right, so with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all, and let's go ahead and tap into this beat one more time. The 808s and the hi-hat, that's from the South. A lot of people do that in the South. Just like a melody, 808 and hi-hats. Listen to that music. They do that often. And then as you can see right here, this part, I really wanted to give a space between the 808s. I felt like the hi-hats are really coming in too often. So you got to give them a break. Give the listener a break from those piercing hi-hats. Sometimes you want to just let them go and let them come back for that impact. Yeah, man, like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Metamorphic, the album is out. I'm gonna show you guys something really quickly. See if I can see this. Metamorphic, the album now out, man. Go check it out. It's my first plaque. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's blend. pleasure. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment what you want to see from me. All that good stuff, man. Mondays and Wednesdays, it's time we cook up. Want to get on this live and talk to me? Go do that. I'm out of here, y'all.